Please welcome the Vice President of AI ML Services and Infrastructure at AWS, Dr. Bhaskar Sridharan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me well in the back? Yeah? Thank you. I am extremely excited to be here with you. As an educator and an engineer, I'm really looking forward to your insights during this talk today. I like to keep this talk interactive, so look forward to some questions from me, and I would love it if there is some interaction from the crowd. Yeah? Thank you. You have seen some incredible real-world stories in our opening video. What you saw in this video are innovators successfully scaling their GenAI projects from prototype all the way to production. They are at the forefront of a very powerful convergence where cutting-edge AI meets real-world application. Today, we're going to explore how you can also navigate this convergence and transition your GenAI prototype into production. Next slide, please. Over the last couple of years, we have seen an explosive surge of GenAI prototypes with all of you. From rapidly mapping over 100 billion brain cells to creating personalized education content to slashing operational expenses across industries and to even training judges in GenAI-powered virtual reality courtrooms. This is what I would call Act 1 of the GenAI story. It's a period marked by unprecedented wave of exploration. We now stand at an inflection point with prototypes rapidly shifting into production. And we enter into what I call as Act 2. Now, Act 2 can be really hard. Getting GenAI applications into production at scale is hard. How many of you agree that that's the case? Can I see a show of hands? Yeah? OK, that's a good volume of people showing the show of hands. We agree with that. And in the tech industry, we all know building a sustainable, scalable business requires years and years of heavy lifting. But with GenAI, we are racing against a compressed timeline, moving from prototypes to production with much higher stakes. And this makes the work exponentially more challenging. In fact, Gartner says at least 30% of GenAI projects will be abandoned after proof of concept. Why? Due to escalating costs, poor data quality, and inadequate safeguards against potential risks. Are these challenges familiar to you all? Yeah? I can see nods, lots of nods. Life-changing applications require robust infrastructure. It's a mistake to assume that AI projects in Act 1 that are prototypes will be, by default, enterprise-ready. However, experimenting forever is also not an option. So how do we actually go from prototype to production in a reliable, consistent, scalable, and more importantly, cost-effective manner? In my view, there are 4 key drivers for successfully moving to what I called as Act 2 of GenAI. Today, I'll walk you through these drivers, the challenges, and the new AWS capabilities designed to help you move confidently from prototype all the way to production. At the heart of this transition lies the critical role of models. The model is what transforms raw data into meaningful insights. But the challenge is that models are constantly evolving. They are constantly leapfrogging each other. A year ago, model A was the best model. A few weeks later, it was model B, and then it was C, and then D, and E, and so on. This will continue to happen. And you're not going to change your entire application every time a better model comes along. I see a couple of folks nodding their heads. Thank you. This is why we focus and have always focused on providing choice and flexibility to you. We believe you will need maximum flexibility to experiment with different models to go to production. So how are we offering this flexibility and choice for you? One, you can select from a pre-existing set of models that work best for your solution on Amazon Bedrock. Two, many of you have just heard in Swami's keynote, you now have access to over 100 foundation models on Bedrock Marketplace. Three, you can train models externally and import them into Bedrock via custom model import for customization. And you can access all the tools we offer in Bedrock. You can train your model with Amazon SageMaker AI, and later customize it in Bedrock. The point I want to make is the following. You can go from one model to another extremely easily with AWS. And this is more true as you take your apps to production. So let's now deep dive into what those options are. Amazon SageMaker AI has been at the cutting edge of model training since its inception. Hundreds of thousands of customers use Amazon SageMaker AI to build, train, and deploy machine learning and Gen AI models. In fact, leading AI companies like Hugging Face, Hippocratic AI, and Perplexity AI have trained their models on SageMaker AI. We continue to innovate to remove the heavy lifting from the entire model building lifecycle, from data all the way to model deployment. For example, we have added Amazon EKS support in SageMaker Hyperpod. This helps enhance scalability, resiliency, and helps you streamline job management for foundation model training. We also brought Amazon Q Developer to SageMaker Studio. So you can build models using natural language. And you have told us that you find great value in specialized applications from AWS partners. With the new AI apps from AWS partner, you can easily discover and deploy popular applications, all within the security and privacy of your SageMaker environment. It will accelerate AI development from months to weeks. Compressed timeline means compressed cost. And then you can import these models into Amazon Bedrock for further customization with your own proprietary data. And this is exactly what we did with Amazon Nova. It's trained on SageMaker Hyperpod and deployed on Bedrock. As you saw in the CEO keynote yesterday, we have got Nova Pro and Lite for multimodal understanding and for agentic capabilities, Nova Micro for quick text-to-text tasks, and we've also got Reel and Canvas for generating videos and images, all available on Bedrock. With all these models and tools, Amazon Bedrock is the easiest way to build and scale GenAI applications. It's a fully managed service where you can access the latest, best-performing foundation models from leading AI companies through a single API. And you can combine that with a broad set of capabilities that we offer in Amazon Bedrock. In addition to Nova, Bedrock also offers a diverse selection of models for you to choose from. Since each one of these models has a slightly different sweet spot, you are able to precisely match your use case with the perfect model. Let me give you some examples. If you need a really, really fast model, you will find it on Bedrock. If you need a really, really intelligent model, you will find it on Bedrock. If you need a really, really low-cost model, you're going to find that on Bedrock too. Your choice is foundational in how we approach model development. 97% of our customers are using more than one model on Bedrock. How many of you knew this? Yeah? Not many. But it's an interesting statistic that 97% of our customers are using more than one model on Bedrock. We introduced model evaluation earlier this year, so you can systematically evaluate and compare the performance of different foundation models. And we continue to prioritize your choices. With Amazon Bedrock Marketplace, you can explore over 100 new and specialized foundation models. You can access them all with Bedrock's standard API. And that's just the start. With the new LLM as a judge feature, you can get human-like evaluation results of your foundation models. And if you want to create smaller, faster, more cost-effective models, you can use Bedrock's model distillation through a single API. Let me share some statistics for you here. Models distilled in Bedrock are up to a whopping 500% faster and 75% cheaper to run. That's a huge difference. These new offerings are exactly what you need to make your large-scale applications financially viable. And that takes me to the next key driver for production, which is cost. Before I move on, I'd love to understand how many of you were concerned about cost challenges when you are thinking about getting your GenAI prototypes into production. Can I see a show of hands? Wow, that's a large section of the room. I didn't expect so many hands go up. Thank you. Well, you're not alone. As you transition from prototype to production, both training and inference cost play crucial roles in your success. That's why we offer a comprehensive set of tools to help you optimize these costs effectively. Our services are designed to maximize your AI investment so that you can go to production while managing your cost. For example, we launched Amazon SageMaker Hyperpod last year, so you can efficiently train models that require a large amount of compute resources. It comes with advanced resiliency capabilities so that the cluster can automatically recover from failures across the full stack with very fast checkpointing and compute resource management. SageMaker Hyperpod reduces model training time by up to 40%, which means you can now get to market much faster. When Perplexity AI needed a robust solution for building their conversational search engines, they chose SageMaker Hyperpod. With Hyperpod, they accelerated foundation model training time by 40%. And we all know that faster time to market translates to sheer value in this extremely competitive environment. I'm excited to share that you can use SageMaker Hyperpod to create flexible training plans. Starting today, you can reserve specific compute resources you need, and the training plans will be automatically generated, and the job will follow the automatic training plan that was generated by SageMaker Hyperpod. Your job will stay within your specified budget, and the time to market is reduced by weeks. With optimized recipes, you can drastically reduce the time it takes to train and fine-tune some of the most popular publicly available models, like the Llama 3.2 90B and Mixtral 8x22B, in just minutes. With a simple one-line recipe change, you can seamlessly switch between GPU-based or Trainium-based accelerator devices to optimize training performance and reduce cost. Now, let's take this even further. We just launched our Hyperpod's task governance innovation. You now have full visibility and control over resource allocation. And this is true across all your teams and your projects, which means your most critical development tasks are automatically prioritized. This is a big deal. And this can have a tangible impact on your training cost savings. This will also supercharge your compute efficiency and slash cost by up to 40%. Now, I want you to see how you can do this in action. Please welcome Victoria Saman, our senior developer advocate.
Well, now imagine you're an administrator working at a financial software company where multiple teams need compute resources to finish their tasks. But it's not easy to meet every team resource needs in a timely manner. So let's see how you can quickly adjust resource allocation and help your teams to meet their needs. So first, you set up a Hyperpod EKS cluster with 15 GPU nodes available to share across your 3 teams. You allocate 6 instances to the ML team for developing new models, 5 instances to the R&D team for exploring new innovations, and 4 instances for the chatbot team for satisfying real-time customer inquiries. With the new Hyperpod task governance, you can easily manage resource allocations. So now let's switch to the AWS SageMaker console. Here in the console dashboard, you can see 15 GPU nodes available to all 3 teams. Using Hyperpod, you can configure cluster policies, including task ranking, fair share weights, and compute sharing policies to handle dynamic resource needs. For example, the ML engineering team needs to start an urgent model fine-tuning task that requires 8 nodes, but they've been only allocated 6 nodes. Thanks to Hyperpod task governance, they can now simply submit the task, and Hyperpod automatically allocates the additional compute to support them. Hyperpod borrows 2 instances from a lower priority task to start the fine-tuning job. As you can see now, the fine-tuning job is efficiently running on all 8 instances. But now, At the same time, the chatbot team is getting a lot of customer inquiries, and they need 5 nodes for a higher priority inference task. However, since 2 nodes were already bored by the ML engineering team, there are only 2 nodes of idle compute left. When idle compute is not available, Hyperpod automatically transfers from lower priority tasks resources required. In this case, the fine-tuning task will be paused temporarily, while the required instances will be shifted to the chatbot team so they can respond to customers quickly. Once resources become available, Hyperpod resumes the post tasks from its last checkpoint so that the ML engineering team can continue their work without losing progress. You can also monitor and audit all the tasks to see what's running or waiting for compute resources. And as soon as the inference task completes, the fine-tuning task automatically resumes. So now you have a clear visibility on how your teams utilize compute resources. And that's why Amazon leveraged this new innovation internally and achieved over 90% utilization of accelerated compute. With Hyperpod task governance, you can maximize your resource allocation and reduce costs for GenAI model development by up to 40%. And now I will hand it back to Bhaskar, who will continue to share about our exciting innovations on cost reductions.
Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. That was a fantastic walkthrough. Now, you have seen how we can help reduce your training cost. Let's turn our attention to the other side of AI economics, inference cost. Okay. We all know that prompts guide foundation models to produce the right output. If you are building conversational agents or you're building coding agents, the model response latency and cost can go up with longer prompts. That's why I'm excited to share that Amazon Bedrock now supports prompt caching. It's an API. It allows developers to cache and reuse large prompt context between API calls to language models. This can cut costs by up to 90% and latency by up to 85%. Also, you can use intelligent prompt routing when there is no single foundation model that will satisfy all your prompts or your scenarios. It will efficiently route prompts to different foundation models. With this, you can reduce AI app development cost by up to 30%. And this is without compromising on accuracy. And for select foundation models from leading AI companies like Anthropic, Meta, Mistral AI, and Amazon, we are offering batch inference on Bedrock at 50% of the on-demand inference pricing. This will help organizations leverage the power of batch processing for their AI workloads while optimizing cost. Now, I would like to share a powerful example that brings all these capabilities to life. DoorDash has been revolutionizing the way we think about food delivery and local commerce. Let's hear directly from DoorDash how they went from GenAI prototype to production. Please welcome Chaitanya Hari from DoorDash.
Thanks, Bhaskar. Hey, everyone. I'm sure you guys have heard of DoorDash, or maybe you've seen our logo at your favorite neighborhood restaurants. DoorDash started in 2013 with a mission to empower local economies by providing high-quality food delivery. Today, DoorDash is much more than just food delivery. It's door-to-door grocery delivery, everyday essentials, and beauty products. By the end of last year, our user base had grown to more than 37 million active consumers all around the world. And at the heart of it all are our Dashers. They're really the backbone of how we operate everywhere. Dashers are the independent contractors who deliver to our end customers. And every day, DoorDash receives hundreds of thousands of requests from our contact centers, from Dashers, consumers, and merchants. So it's incredibly important to us that we work hand in hand with these Dashers and use their feedback to improve our products. A little while ago, our research revealed a major gap. At the time, our self-service options in the IVR were nowhere near intuitive or helpful enough for our Dashers, and they weren't meeting their needs, which was causing them to escalate to live agents en masse. We knew that we needed better self-service for these people so that we could allow them to fulfill their issues quickly by themselves and get back to delivering. And since Dashers are constantly on the go, we knew that we needed seamless conversational voice support, but the long response times and complicated navigation systems were causing a lot of frustrations. So we got to work on a proof of concept. We came up with 3 concrete success metrics for this: speed, quality, and hallucination rates. Speed was non-negotiable. We knew that we had to keep responses delivered under 3 seconds in order to keep Dashers engaged with the platform and to keep them moving through deliveries. Quality meant ensuring that while answers were delivered fast, they were also relevant and easy to understand. And finally, hallucination management was key. Our system needed to be accurate and trustworthy. Diving into speed a little bit, we tried almost all of the generative AI solutions out there at the time, but we quickly hit a few roadblocks. Response latency and quality did not meet our standards. A particular priority for me was achieving a response style that closely mirrored natural human speech patterns. And so we moved on to Amazon Bedrock and started investigating the various Anthropic Claude models that were available to us in order to find the best fit for our business goals. Bedrock was really the ideal platform. And it managed a lot of the heavy lifting in the back end and really allowed us to focus on perfecting the finer details of the experience, basically allowing us to cut our development time almost in half. And with the release of Claude 3 Haiku, we finally achieved our targets. The results were fairly impressive. We had a response latency of about 2.5 seconds while maintaining the high quality that DoorDash support is known for. The next key component here is our knowledge base, which directly ensures the quality of responses. We wanted to enhance our system by integrating data from publicly available help center information on our DoorDash websites. And we wanted to use retrieval augmented generation to achieve this, or RAG. This technique fetches the most relevant information for a user's query and allowed us to deliver the most accurate and helpful responses to Dashers on the phone. In order to streamline this, we used Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases. It allowed us to implement the entire RAG workflow, from ingestion to retrieval, without the need for a lot of custom data integrations or complex data backend management. Then we moved on to another problem. Even if a model is fast and fairly accurate, how do we ensure that it's pulling information from the context that we've provided and not just making things up? We went through multiple iterations of prompt engineering and fine-tuning to ensure that our AI models reliably referenced only the knowledge bases that we provided. And with Amazon Bedrock, we were able to mitigate a large portion of our hallucinations, prevent things like prompt injection attacks, and detect things like abusive language. This gave us the confidence to scale without compromising on quality or trust. Today, we rely on Bedrock guardrails in our production workloads to manage hallucination. And with the analytics that it provides, we're able to quickly track any kind of hallucination spikes and investigate them immediately. This level of monitoring and control is critical for maintaining the integrity of our solution. Finally, testing and quality assurance was essential for scaling. But at the time, our team was incredibly small, and we couldn't only complete a handful of manual test calls every hour. However, with the help of the Generative AI Innovation Center and the great folks there, we were able to custom build a SageMaker AI solution for our needs, and it completely transformed our testing approach. We built a robust evaluation framework that enabled us to automate testing at scale. This framework provided rapid insights for all of our A/B tests and allowed us to evaluate our key metrics with extremely high precision. The results were game-changing. We increased our testing capacity significantly and are now able to run thousands of automated tests every hour to ensure accuracy and relevance. Now, fast-forwarding from the successful tests in early 2024 to today, our Gen AI solution handles hundreds of thousands of calls every single day, providing our Dashers with the seamless self-service support that they need. One of the biggest wins was reducing the number of escalations to live agents by thousands per day. freeing them up to handle much more complex issues. Additionally, we saw remarkable efficiency gains. I mentioned a huge increase in testing capacity. We also saw a reduction in response latency, mentioned 2.5 seconds, and a huge reduction in general Gen AI app development time. At the end of the day, we were able to deliver significant cost savings for DoorDash, a couple million year over year. Our journey from prototype to production embodies our commitment to listening to our Dashers and to create solutions that truly make a difference in their daily experiences. Thanks for listening, everyone, and have a great reInvent.
Thank you, Chaitanya, and thank you, DoorDash. I really enjoyed learning about how DoorDash used Bedrock knowledge bases and ensured that their quality of responses and with their secret sauce, which is their data. Let's now deep dive on data. Data is the lifeblood of production-ready AI systems. With everyone having access to the same foundation models, your data is the differentiator between a generic AI application and one that's customized and actually knows your business, your customer, and your company's culture. In practice, not every organization's data is AI ready, but you don't need much to get started. And if your data is already on AWS, it's easy to unlock its value. Knowledge bases give the AI models a deep well of information to draw from. This means your GenAI app can provide accurate and tailored responses that are actually relevant to your customers' needs and even reflect you and your customers' culture. What's great is that Bedrock lets you customize and expand these knowledge bases over time. So as your business needs change, you can keep your GenAI applications up to date. And we are adding more capabilities. These days, most enterprise data is unstructured, and it's also multimodal, like data, images, tables, videos, and audio. Data automation transforms unstructured data into structured data through a single API call. And guess what? Without writing any code. You can extract, transform, and generate usable data from your multimodal content with a high level of accuracy and at a low cost. We want you to use all of your enterprise data to build more intelligent GenAI applications. And we have just announced Graph RAG. Knowledge graphs create relationships between your data by connecting different pieces of relevant information like a web. With Graph RAG, you can automatically generate graphs linking various data sources to generate more relevant responses. We also just launched the preview of RAG evaluations for Bedrock knowledge bases. And finally, the new structured data retrieval feature will help you easily build GenAI applications to answer natural language questions using data that is stored in data warehouses and data lakes. This will help you reduce app development time and also improve the accuracy of your queries. Now, let's zoom out for a moment. Consider the broader impact of data and AI across organizations. In addition to the lifeblood of production-ready AI systems, data is also becoming a unifying force, bringing together teams like never before. Working with data is central to many of your roles, from analytics to machine learning to Gen AI. And you have told us that you face challenges with siloed data, inconsistent data governance, difficulties in tracking data lineage, and issues with cost optimization. More and more organizations want the convergence of big data analytics, machine learning, and now Gen AI to create a single unified experience that would accelerate the development process. The question is, how? As announced, the next generation of SageMaker is the center for all your data, analytics, and AI. And we bring that to life through SageMaker Unified Studio. It's a single development environment where everyone on your team can work collaboratively throughout the entire lifecycle of the Gen AI project. And they can access SageMaker AI to train, customize, and deploy AI models at scale. They can access Bedrock IDE to efficiently build Gen AI applications using tools and capabilities of Amazon Bedrock in a governed and collaborative environment. With these powerful capabilities, data privacy and AI governance become even more paramount. From day one, our AI infrastructure services have built-in security and privacy features to give you full control over your data. Your data is being handled securely across the AI lifecycle, including data preparation, training, and inferencing. What does it mean? It means zero access to sensitive AI data, such as the AI model weights and the data processed with those models. No one, except those who are authorized, have access to your data. AWS had a long-standing commitment to security, privacy, and safety of AI because we believe the long-term success of AI depends on the trust it inspires in users, our customers, and the society at large. This brings us to a critical driver for going to production: building and maintaining trust with responsible AI. I'm excited to share that AWS has become the first major cloud provider to announce ISO 42001 accredited certification for AI services. This certification is an international standard for organizations to manage the risks associated with AI system development and deployment. You can confidently build your Gen AI applications with our AI services like Amazon Bedrock or Amazon Q, knowing that they are developed and operated according to globally recognized best practices. Responsible AI is not the only right thing to do, but it's also a business choice. It's a value driver. Why? Because responsible AI drives trust, and trust drives adoption. Trustworthiness was the most important consideration for our customer, the European Parliament, as they adopted the Gen AI technology for their cutting-edge chatbot, Archibot. The European Parliament leveraged Anthropic's cloud in Amazon Bedrock to transform the accessibility of Parliament's archives of over 2 million documents. Let's now hear directly from the customer.
Preserving collective memory is one of the fundamentals of democracy. Welcome to the Archives of the European Parliament. The Archives unit is in charge of preserving, managing, and processing all the documents that have been produced and received by the European Parliament since 1952. The arrival of generative AI is something that was a real shift.
Archibot is a simple and intuitive tool that helps us and the researcher to find documents and to build reports based on the documents.
We built Archibot using Anthropic's cloud technology. Within the European Parliament, we have shown that we can use generative AI in a controlled way. The access to information and all the tools we provide in order to be able to make use of this information are really at the foundations of a democratic project.
Just like the European Parliament, you want to use Gen AI in a controlled and responsible way. That's why we built Amazon Bedrock Guardrails. Guardrails allows you to set consistent policies for safety, privacy, and truthfulness, and provides customizable safeguards on top of native model protection. Our safety features block up to 85% more harmful content. And they also filter over 75% of hallucinated responses. And we continue to add new capabilities to Bedrock Guardrails. Automated reasoning. It's a form of AI that can mathematically prove something is correct. We have been using it behind the scenes in many of our services, like the IAM policies and automatic checks of millions of scenarios in software that makes up Amazon's S3 storage system. Now, Bedrock Guardrails automated reasoning checks is the first and only Gen AI safeguard that helps prevent factual errors due to hallucinations. It uses logically accurate and verifiable reasoning that explains why a Gen AI response is correct. The need for more robust guardrails for trust becomes even more critical as you leverage AI agents. AI agents enable foundation models to take action on your behalf. Bedrock Agents offers advanced AI components that are purpose-built for orchestrating and automating very complex workflows. And now, with the advanced multi-agent collaboration, a main agent acts like a team leader and hands out tasks to other specialized agents. This teamwork allows the group to tackle much bigger challenges and also more efficiently. And we will continue to revolutionize your workflows with trust at the core. Now, there is a customer who's taking this revolution to the next level. Salesforce has tapped into the latest advancements in large language models and reasoning techniques to launch Salesforce's Agentforce. I'm thrilled to welcome our next guest, Phil Mui from Salesforce. Phil is going to share with us how AWS's unified environment has empowered them to build the brain behind Agentforce. Please join me in welcoming Phil Mui, Senior Vice President in Salesforce.
Bhaskar, good to see you.
Good to see you, Phil. Thank you. Phil, I think this is an interactive session.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I would love to hear some responses. I'm sure the audience will appreciate it too.
Of course. But before you do that, I want to just thank you for the amazing partnership that you have given to Salesforce.
It has been a fantastic partnership, not just collaboration, but also innovation, and we are waiting to hear from you.
All right.
So I would love to ask you a simple question.
Sure.
We are all very eager to understand this fascinating work that you're doing with Agentforce. Can you introduce us to what Agentforce is?
Sure. First of all, Agentforce is pretty cool, for those of you who have tried it. Agentforce, basically, it is a set of enterprise-grade, trusted, and autonomous AI agents and tools to enhance efficiency across various business functions such as sales, service, marketing, commerce, etc. Unlike traditional chatbots or simple agents that you may be able to do over the weekend, that some of you I know are doing, Agentforce agents dynamically adapt to human language, human conversation, and to provide with the appropriate context, relevant context. It is able to do that because Agentforce is natively integrated within the Salesforce platform that allows Agentforce to leverage all the data that you have already been keeping within Salesforce, along with all the workflows that you have encoded over the last many years. Because it is built on top of Salesforce, it is able to take advantage of all of the acquisitions that Salesforce has made, along with the platform, components, and investments that we have made in Data Cloud, for example. Companies such as OpenTable, Saks Fifth Avenue, Wiley have already adopted the platform, and we are getting very positive feedback from across the industry.
That's awesome to hear the uptick, Phil. Let me ask you another question. There are many AI companies right now in the market. What makes Salesforce's approach to Agentforce unique?
Right. So many of you probably are trying out building your own agents and do it yourself across your various functions. So first of all, within Salesforce, trust is our number one value, our number one corporate value. We have a strong focus when we build Agentforce based on trust and ethical AI, and we prioritize data privacy, security, ethical considerations in every features that we built. Many of these are very important differentiating heavy lifting for us, but for many of you, these are probably less differentiating for you. So one of the mantra that Amazon has is, don't do the undifferentiating heavy lifting if you can buy it. So in many ways, that is what Agentforce is. Agentforce is able to do that because it is natively embedded within the Customer 360 platform. And by doing so, it's able to bring all the relevant context for an agent to ground its responses and also do its reasoning. It is able to do that by bringing these contextually relevant data and metadata that exists within Data Cloud, within the larger Salesforce ecosystem, in order to achieve the high level of accuracy and relevance that enterprises need. And usually, it's the last 10%, 20% that if you have ever tried building your own, that's very, very hard to do. And that's really what differentiates Agentforce. Now, our investment in Data Cloud over the last few years, which we have made a lot of, really demonstrates our commitment to continue to bring this level of trusted AI within the Salesforce ecosystem. And then lastly, what makes Agentforce differentiated is Agentforce is fundamentally about enabling trusted autonomous AI across enterprises. It's able to do that by enabling agents to do proactive problem solving through our ever sophisticated Atlas reasoning engine, so I'm going to, for the next 30 seconds, right, I'm going to be very nerdy. I'm going to say a few words for those who are in the audience here. Atlas is an inference time system to reasoning engine that is built on a synchronous graph-based workflow. So for those, anyone have a bingo card yet? All right, so that's what we're doing.
That's awesome. But can you walk us through Atlas a little bit more? So I understand Atlas is the brain of Agentforce. I'm sure developing Atlas did not come easy. And there are quite a few challenges, I'm assuming, in bringing this vision to life. Can you give us a sense of how you overcame them?
Of course. So I'm going to tell a story. So in the last generation, my parents' generation, when you ask them, which day do you remember? Many of them remember the day that JFK died. If you ask this generation, people particularly in this room, what is the one day that stands out among many? Well, it is November 30th, 2022. What happened on that day? That was the day that ChatGPT came alive. Many of you remember what you were doing, what you were eating while you listened to that news, right? This really reveals how nerdy I am. Now, given that that is such a momentous moment for many of us, I have also heard many of our customers, including some of the world's largest, since then, has been experimenting with their own agent or chatbot solutions. And thanks to AWS and the easy tools that AWS is making, many of you have tried. And we're really glad that many of you are trying that, because as you have tried out trying to hit that last mile of accuracy and relevance, you discover that, hey, even though it's easy to put together, you can put it together over a weekend. But in order to achieve that enterprise level grade of accuracy, relevance, and trust, you kind of need another level of professionals and tools and techniques that are able to help you. So at this point, let me ask those in the audience who has heard about System 1 reasoning versus System 2 reasoning. Who has heard about that difference? Raise your hand. If not, this is going to be quite useful for many of you. No? OK. So about 20 years ago, there is a professor named Daniel Kahneman, and he won the Nobel Prize for many things, one of which is, it turns out human, like us, we have two types of reasoning. Right? The first, he called it System 1, or fast reasoning. This is the kind of very quick, very intuitive, fast responses that you usually do when you first wake up in the morning, right? You're trying to brush your teeth or trying to yell at your kids, whatever it is. Now, the reason it's System 1 reasoning is this is the fight and flight responses, right, that many of us have been taught in school. And oftentimes when we do that, we, based on our intuition, we respond very quickly back, hey, the answer to this question is this. Does that remind you of many of the implementations that you have tried? It is, if you simply have a thin veneer of a piece of software on top of the large language model, guess what? You're implementing, very likely, System 1 reasoning. And as you have seen, System 1 reasoning tends to have higher hallucination. It's much harder to control accuracy, and much harder to actually steer the responses and guard it. Now, System 2 reasoning, according to Professor Kahneman, is a different kind of reasoning that many of us usually do when we're trying to help our kids figure out which college to apply to, right? Or which car to buy, or which services to use in AWS. Now, this kind of reasoning is a little bit different, right? When you think about it, you tend to weight how you think about various evidence. You do step-by-step reasoning, deliberate verification, with deliberate verification stages. And so, in many ways, this is what Salesforce Agentforce has been implementing over the last year. So Agentforce, Atlas Reasoning, is a System 2 AI reasoning engine. It is based on a proprietary cognitive architecture. This is one of the VC terms people like to throw around. It enables step-by-step deliberate reasoning with verifications in order to achieve the high level of accuracy and precision and lack of hallucination that enterprises need. And so one of the hottest things within the VC community people are asking about these days is, large language model is nothing special, right? It is just a very quick pattern matcher. How many of you heard that? It's not real reasoning. Well, that is true if you're doing System 1 reasoning. But in many ways, when you move over to System 2 reasoning, such as the Agentforce platform, you are shifting AI from quick pattern matching of the LLMs to deliberate problem solving. And in many ways, this is what really differentiates what the Atlas Reasoning Engine and the Agentforce platform for enterprises today.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Thank you for sharing your fascinating work with us.
Amazing.
Really glad
Thank you for inviting me.
And we look forward to innovating more with you.
Same here.
As we have just heard, Salesforce's journey from prototype to production for Agentforce involved significant iterations. This was made possible because Salesforce is running on AWS, the unified collaborative environment that enables successful production and deployment of GenAI applications. Success in Act 2 of GenAI is not just about having a great idea or a powerful model. It's about mastering the entire journey from concept to production. First, models, cutting-edge technology with flexibility and choices. Second, cost, efficient training, inference, and faster go-to-market. Third, data, the lifeblood of AI and your key differentiator that will turn a generic application into one that actually reflects your business and your customer. Fourth, trust, non-negotiable privacy and security, and robust governance. And finally, a unified environment which seamlessly integrates all these four elements. To make the leap from prototype to production, you need a performant, cost-effective data foundation. To make the leap from prototype to production, you need a cohesive infrastructure. To make the leap from prototype to production, you need a center for all your data, analytics, and AI. Amazon SageMaker is the springboard to your Act 2 transformation. You might be in Act 1, exploring possibilities, or you might already be in Act 2, refining and scaling your GenAI application in production. Either way, you're part of this transformative era in technology, and you are shaping the future. And we will be with you every single step of your GenAI journey. By providing the flexibility with the broadest and the deepest capabilities at the best price for performance in the industry, and with the security and reliability that millions of customers trust their most precious data and applications with. Our vision for AWS is to be the best place to build your GenAI applications. I'll be sharing exciting new launches soon, so please do connect with me. Tell me what's working, what's not working. 90% of our innovation actually comes from listening to you. Thank you all. Enjoy your reinvent.